hi. How are you? What are you doing? What's going on?
Oh, just like still being a homeless ski bum.
Nice. Yeah, you're still unhoused.
Loving every minute of it.
Episode 587 today. Yeah,
Yes.
What's it like being a ski bum?
It's fun. It's, I'm kind of kicking myself because guess what I missed last night? Freaking trivia night.
Where?
At the ski play, at like one of the like little like bars or like just like right.
It's
at
like an ongoing thing.
Yeah, like every Monday night. And I went in for breakfast and I saw the sign on the wall that said like trivia every Monday at 6:30. I was like, I missed trivia.
Do you have to have like a team though, or what? It seems like
I would play solo. I would even show up halfway through the game and I'd be like, fine. I just like, I'm here to play. I don't even need to win. Ooh, who is she?
I thought that it always had to be a team with these things. Is that false?
I mean, what if you had no friends?
Well, that's why I thought maybe they assign teams when you get there or something. Like they divvy people up.
Oh, that would be awful.
Right.
I don't want to play trivia with strangers.
No, thank you.
I don't want to talk to strangers.
I thought maybe trivia would rank higher though in your priorities. So like you would even work with strangers if it meant you could participate.
Yeah, now that you say that, I might, it would definitely be reason to sit at if I were at trivia night and like the only spot available were one of those communal tables, okay, I'll do it.
Wow.
Any other day of the week? Nah, I'm good. I'll go somewhere else.
You're really living on the edge out in the world, going to restaurants and stuff.
But now that you say that, I haven't dined indoors anywhere.
Oh.
I'm trying to think of...
What about that breakfast? You sitting on the slopes?
No, I got it to go.
Oh, okay. I was like, boy, al fresco.
Yeah, no.
Shiver
I
me
got it to
timbers.
go. And then the place, I've been eating outside.
Gosh. What the heck's the temperature there?
Oh my God, Suze. One day it was negative 14.
Well, that is a cold food experience.
Colder than a witch's titty.
No joke.
Oh my God!
Was
but that
was
just the morning. That was like the morning. That was actually the morning that I went on my little snowboarding date.
Are you telling me that's not the wind chill?
No,
that's
that was
just
the actual
air
temperature.
That is insane.
That was my car read. I took a picture of it. I think the picture I got said negative 13, but at one point it was negative 14.
That is ungodly.
I know, but most of the time it's about 30, like between like 20 and 30 degrees.
Right. Okay, that's tolerable.
And you know what? I'm learning. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, that's fine. The 20s and 30s, they're fine. It's when you get down to that 0 and below, you're in real trouble.
I did have the hair freeze situation.
Ugh, right.
That was that. So now I'm like, okay, can't go out with the...
Well, yeah, because your hair's like always wet. If you wash it, it takes like 3 days to dry.
Yeah, no joke. What's the deal with that?
Right.
So, yeah. It's just, cold. I got to stay inside where it's toasty just because of my hair.
Yeah,
but
right.
It's... those are not terrible problems to have. We'll just say that.
Well, I'm sorry you missed trivia at any rate. You would have won and it would have felt real good.
Look at you're so supportive. Yeah, I know they. And then one of the guys that I was talking to on the Bumble app, he's a trivia host. And I was like, what if it was him?
Oh my God. Wait, are you guys still talking or did that run its course?
It kind of ran its course.
Okay, yeah, because I feel like that's just too much trivia.
It's too much trivia.
It's too much. Too trivial.
Right. You don't want two trivia hosts.
And then you'd be competing. It would be like with you and your ex when you played Scrabble and he threw the board.
Oh, my God. What is wrong with... What? Are men okay?
Right. What? I don't get it. But
I'm not sure.
Maybe
sometimes.
If you're both super into trivia, it can lead to real problems down the road.
Yeah. I was talking to one guy who was like a ski instructor, and then I was like, do you think this will work? Because I'm a snowboarder. And then that kind of fizzled out, too.
Oh, my God. Right.
And I was like, I actually think that's a thing.
Well, when these things run their course, is it usually you sort of just losing interest, or is it mutual, or them?
Well, most of the time it's that, like, you know, I only have so many free nights, you know? I gotta like, and
you gotta
you know
be
what?
picky.
I gotta be picky. And like, also I don't have like the energy to be like dating like a whole bunch of people. Like I gotta like get a date here and there. But most of the time it's just like we're talking or exchanging messages, and then schedules get busy and like it goes radio silent. It doesn't get to that we're hanging out yet part.
Well, in the land of COVID, do you guys test beforehand? Is there even any discussion about that? Oh my God.
No.
No, I'm very sympathetic about people that have to date and then have to worry about that kind of thing. But
you know what? To be honest, it's kind of been
crossing
like
your fingers.
Sort of. Now that you mention it, like, you know, it's.
I'm not judging. I was just curious.
No, I'm trying to think of, like, it's so new that I almost haven't even taken the time to, like,
come up with a plan.
Come up with a plan.
You need a system.
You know? Right. I'm like, you know, you focus on other kinds of protection and things like that.
Right. Safe sex is more involved now.
Yeah, it really is.
Do you ever think about who named STDs? Because they did not do us any favors.
What do you mean? Like the actual acronym STD?
No, like the names of them, like herpes,
like,
gonorrhea.
Ugh, I don't even like saying them.
Did you ever see that tweet that said gonorrhea would have been a great name for a diarrhea medicine?
Gonorrhea!
Good
That's
times.
genius. Okay, see, now that's just missed opportunity there.
I know.
I'm mad.
Whenever I see tweets like that, I'm like, damn it.
Gosh.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. That's a really good one. Oh, that tickles me.
Okay, but wait, you know how they're all like really gross names, like herpes, gonorrhea.
Chlamydia. That might be the worst one.
They all sound just as bad as they are. Which
maybe that's it.
maybe they wanted everyone
they don't
to be
want,
certain.
Like, what I'm trying to think are like what diseases have like a lovely sounding name. They all sound question.
I think
do
fever.
they sound terrifying because we know that they're diseases, or are, you know, which came first, chicken or the egg? Kind of thing.
Like if somebody served you a big bowl of herpes, you would not think,
no,
sounds delicious.
No.
But
no,
it's hard to know.
Ugh. It is hard to know.
It's all internalized.
Oh.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. These are good questions to ask.
Thank you.
And sometimes it's fun to like just ponder these kind of things. You know, I'll kick off some facts, some info, you know, since I didn't get to play trivia.
Yes.
I learned things on the side.
Okay.
This is like just a little fact I learned, but maybe we can explore what this may mean. So pareidolia, that's the seeing faces in inanimate objects. Yeah. People see inanimate faces as male rather than female.
No.
Yes. And I mean, this is across the board. It was throughout all different, it was like different ages, genders, you know, different societies, different places. Everything was
interesting.
Tested. Susie, can we just like the implication or like what that says?
Well, yeah, because when we spoke about this last time, the theory had been that I read was that babies need to be able to recognize like who's going to feed them, but you would think that would make it more the mom.
Oh my God, I didn't even think about that part. You would think,
So
do you think it's sense?
Oh, okay, yeah, go ahead. Let me hear your theory. Sarah's got a theory.
Is that it's because we've made males the default.
Yeah, the default human. That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. I am currently staying at a place where I have shared walls. It's like an apartment kind of complex, like here. Well, you know, it's kind of like a hotel. I want to scream so loud.
Right now?
Yes. I am trying so hard to contain myself and just be like, I'm so angry. Keep it dialed down because I can hear the people next door. And they're going to be like, I'm going to get a knock on the door. Like, ma'am, what is going on? I'm just going to be like, I'm just mad at the patriarchy.
Maybe what will calm you down is talking about your favorite comfy and stylish footwear, Rothy's.
You know I love some Rothy's.
I love them. They are perfect for every occasion because they have so many different styles and colors. And as you all know, my favorite part is that they're washable.
You know what I'm thinking? This is what, if you're getting married and you're having bridesmaids, just make this the footwear.
Yeah.
Because you can't wear the dresses again. Come on, really. Nobody's going to wear those things again. But you can wear those shoes again.
Yeah. Get those, the point ones that you have, the red ones.
Yes, it's what I'm thinking. And how cute would it be if they were colored, like you can have them like the colors that match the, come on.
Very cute.
Adorable.
They're great for everything. Like if you're just going to work and you want to be comfortable and still look nice, or they have casual ones that you can wear all year long to any occasion. They are very comfortable. They are very stylish, but it's great that they last so long because you can clean them up and make them smell nice again by washing them. They're made of recycled plastic, so they're sustainable. And you can hit the new year in stride with a fresh pair of Rothy's. New customers get $20 off your first purchase at rothys.com/braincandy. That's rothys.com/braincandy. See, don't you feel better now?
Yes. Always. It's nothing like comfortable footwear to put me in a good mood.
That's so true.
It's very true.
Yeah, I would like to. So my other less maddening theory would be just because there's no hair.
Well, they did things to even change the color and almost make it like prime people to almost see it as a woman too, like maybe change it to like a pink color, or make it change it to an expression that was maybe more associated with like a female expression. And they did those things, and it says there is a strong bias to perceive illusionary faces as male rather than female, even when neutral option is available.
Damn.
Even when a neutral option is available.
Right. So they said,
like,
hey,
we don't even
what is
say,
this?
nah, it's nothing, or I don't know. It's nope, that's a man.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
I'll give you
no.
I was trying to think of times when I've seen faces and objects and whether I thought they were male. And the exception for me, and why I thought maybe the hair was the problem, is, you know those, like, kitchen utensils that you use to get spaghetti out? They're like kind of like a spoon, but they have prongs.
Yes, I totally know.
Okay, so like we would as kids like look at it from the front and be like, "Oh, look, she's like so happy, whatever." And then you turn it around and it looks like her hair is blowing backwards.
Yes.
And so I thought she was a girl.
Oh.
Okay, can you think of examples? Where do you see these faces?
I see that. I don't know. When I wake up in the morning and I'm like groggily like walking to the bathroom and I like go like, do my thing and I am like, you guys don't need a description of that. Stop, Sarah. And sometimes I stare at like a tile floor or like a floor that's got a pattern in it. And if I just relax my eyes, I hope this isn't a sign that I'm like, I don't know, cuckoo crazy or something. But if I'm just in that like half awake, half asleep place, my eyes will find faces and things. And I see it like, I just kind of let myself, if I'm staring at the clouds, I think I more often than most people look for things in clouds. And so when you said, give me an example, my mind was like, oh yeah, the last time you were like staring at the clouds and like, what animal do you see or what thing do you see?
Yeah.
I do that all the time.
That's nice.
And then I think maybe other adults don't do that. Do they?
I don't think most adults are in a position to be doing that.
What?
So
That's
it's
not
really
true.
great. No, why?
Because like all you have to do is be outside.
But usually when people are pondering what the clouds look like, aren't they laying down, kind of relaxing in the nature? Like on a piece of grass?
Sometimes I do it when I'm driving.
Oh my God. Safety first, Sarah. Jesus Christ.
Terrible. Not like I'm staring off into the distance. This might be an ADHD symptom.
Right. I guess I've never really done it in any situation besides when I'm just sitting outside.
Yeah, or I guess now I'm on the chairlift a lot. I do it when I'm on the chairlift.
That sounds really nice.
I'm always like, oh, look at that.
And you tend to see faces and they're men? And then they talk to you?
Now, get out of here.
They give me messages.
I think when they're almost, I want to say gender neutral, but maybe if I had to choose, they would be men.
Yeah.
When I think about that, and I'll put this article because they show some examples in the article, and when you look at them, they do kind of look like men. I don't know why though. And neither does this article, apparently.
Do you think that it might be because whenever we see kind of drawings, cartoony drawings of ladies, they tend to do big eyelashes and there's more signaling.
Yes.
And the man is just basic.
Yes, I do kind of think that's what it is. Because one of the things that was mentioned in this article, because it's a hot topic right now, is the green M&M.
Oh yeah, what is everyone worked up about?
Because this is. Ugh.
I love when you glitch.
This is what these companies do, which is so fucking stupid. They're like, oh no, we're not going to work on the pay gap. Instead, we're going to make the green M&M wear loafers or sneakers instead of her sexy boots. We're basically taking away the sex appeal from the green M&M. But what I think I am very anti. I say keep green M&M slutty. That's my position.
That's great.
Green M&M is a thought, slogan. And just let her be one.
Keep green. I'm writing this down.
Yeah.
M&M slutty.
Yeah.
Right. I would agree with that.
I love it.
But
what we really need is another female M&M. Give us another color.
Is there only one lady?
Yes, because it's the fucking Smurfette principle, and that's what they don't understand. That's the problem. Instead, they're trying to take away the femininity of the green M&M to say, oh, she could be other things. She could. No, what you're doing is you're giving us one example, and now she has to be sporty and sexy.
No.
Now you're just giving us these. Who can live up to that?
No, I agree. That is terrible.
Yes, I'm pissed at that.
I can't believe there's only one lady.
I'm appropriately upset. It's the Smurfette principle.
Yeah.
This is always the situation.
Dang. I don't think there's anything wrong with performing femininity, whether you're a woman or an M&M. And I think they should give her some fucking friends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's too fucking hard for M&M to make another color. So instead we have to rebrand. I'm angry. But hey, you know what? I know you can make other colors because you do it for every holiday and every season. How come you can't just throw a light green in there, throw a light blue in there, and just make her, give her some overalls. And
turn one of those men, make it a trans woman M&M.
Yes.
Have her
that
transition.
Yellow one, you would look great in heels.
Absolutely. Boy, they don't listen to us, though. That's for sure.
They for sure don't. Anyways.
All right. All right.
That's
I'm
what
mad about that. Yeah.
You know what? That's not the only thing I'm mad about. Get ready, because I got a little bit of a list today. Not a huge list. But once again, I'm mad at, Elon Musk and just general billionaires. Those guys. Who does like them? But I'm mad at SpaceX because these motherfuckers are crashing a rocket into the moon, and they're going to create a huge crater.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
A crater that's 20 meters wide.
And everyone's okay with this? Aren't the intergalactic police on the case or something? I feel like the Space Force, whatever it is.
He's probably in cahoots with the intergalactic police. Come on.
Right. He pays them off.
Yeah, for sure. It's intergalactic mafia stuff.
Yeah, right.
I'm sure. So SpaceX.
How big is it going to be?
20 meters across.
That's a big crater.
Yeah, so this is one of those things where at first you read it and like on.
Oh my God! I just thought of another one. Man in the Moon.
Oh, yes, yes, that is a great example, Susie.
Because I was like, oh no, the crater's going to make it so it's not a face. And who is that face? A man.
Look at you!
Oh my God, you're right.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, that was the best interruption ever. Because we're connecting dots over here.
Yeah, right. Our new favorite thing.
These are breadcrumbs. This is a trail of breadcrumbs. So just
follow along, everybody.
Mm-hmm. Come on, people. Come on. Okay. So they're crashing this. So this is one of those stories that there's really no good solution here. So people are saying like there's a people like me who read it and are outraged, like, oh my God, you're putting a crater in the moon, and you're going to mess up the man-moon face. And then there are other scientists who say, or I don't know what they are, I'm going to just call them scientists for lack of a better word, who say, well, this is better than having it be space junk that's floating around our outer orbit.
Counterpoint, I like it.
Right. But here's the biggest problem is not that it's creating the crater. This is the crazy part that, I think is kind of cool, actually. The biggest worry is that by people who are like, NASA scientists and people who like, know what they're talking about, not just like me who reads an article and is like, what? Is that there will be biological contaminants left on the moon that somebody else or future generations will find and confuse as life on the moon.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you were going to say it would be like the smallpox blankets that we genocided.
But maybe. I don't know. What if? I've seen a bunch of those movies.
COVID on the moon for later.
Oh, my God. Okay. Those are... I'm telling you, there's crazy stuff out there. And like all those sci-fi movies where there's like a little... they're out in space and there's like a little biological something that they find and then they mix it with a little bit. I don't know. They always get the bright idea to mix it with a little bit of our DNA and that never goes well. And then the next thing you know, this thing is like attacking everybody on the spaceship. And then, oh my God, what movie was that? It was so good.
Interstellar. For sure.
I'm not kidding, Susie. The other night I was like, I want to watch a movie. And I could not stop laughing because I was like, you should watch Interstellar. I don't know why it was so funny to me.
See, it's the joke that keeps on being funny. So
it really is. You can never watch it.
Well,
but yeah, so I'm kind of mad at them.
Sounds sci-fi, but isn't. It's not fi at all. Is modern fertility. It's just not fi.
The future is here.
The future is here.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And not only is it super convenient to now know what's going on in your ovaries and all your womb, but it's also way more affordable. So you just take this little test, send it back to them, and they tell you about your fertility and any red flags going on in there and give you a sense of like what's going on with your eggs. And then you can make informed choices. I love it. And it's great just to be able to handle it in the privacy of your own home, too. I'm always glad to not have to go into the doctor.
Me, too.
And that's why modern fertility was created. It's just an easy way to get the scoop on your fertility. And they have a deal. Right now, Modern Fertility is offering our listeners $20 off the test when you go to modernfertility.com/braincandy. That means your test will cost $139 instead of the hundreds or thousands it could cost at a doctor's office. Get $20 off your fertility test when you go to modernfertility.com/braincandy. modernfertility.com/braincandy. I mean, you got your results, right? And I got mine.
Yeah.
It's great.
It was great.
Yeah. I love it.
Oh, and you know what it did is it put my mind at ease. Like all this stuff, it is so good to have the information and just know.
Yeah, it's very empowering. I agree.
Yeah. And I was like, well, okay, here's the things that I need to look at. Here's the things I need to get checked later. Here, and it was like, just do it and then forget about it.
Lickety split.
Lickety split. Okay. I wonder where that term came from. Because that sounds dirty.
Right. It sounds like
lickety,
the old...
you're split.
Sounds like something the old green M&M would be really into.
Oh, that's funny. So yeah, those are the people I'm mad at.
Yeah. Well, so you say
putting holes in
there's no
space.
solution though. It's just like,
yeah,
he's gonna fly into the moon. The end.
This is it. I'm. What I'm happy about is learning about. Well, okay, I shouldn't say happy. I'm never happy when I learn about new problems we have because it's like, oh, great, one more thing to be worried about. But this is what keeps me up at night. But I am glad that we're having a conversation about space junk. You know, it's like we're kind of like we're doing a lot. There's damage that's going on, and
Big time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what they do is parts of the, and okay, I'm saying this like, this is my very rudimentary knowledge of the, like, we're simplifying it here.
Yeah.
Like, space people out there, don't be like,
space people.
Don't at me. Or do, whatevs, I don't care. So when the parts of the spaceship break off, you know, and like other parts, they break off into parts. Mm-hmm. You've seen this, yes? See,
yes.
I'm terrible at explaining this.
I have. Yeah.
They direct the junk, whatever's left, back towards Earth, and it burns up on orbit. Mm-hmm. And then when it does burn up, it releases all that stuff burns up. But if you've ever burned anything,
right.
It doesn't just like
doesn't disappear.
Disappear. Like there's stuff left over, and the stuff that's left over is really fucking bad.
Yeah,
like think about stuff that goes into space and can survive that. Like the kind of like ugh. So that's all kind of coming back into our atmosphere.
Well, and there's been instances that we've talked about on the show where they've been in the space, what's it called? This command center thingy? Space station. Uh-huh. And, you know, there have been kind of emergencies because there's this piece of junk and it's got,
yes.
You know, it could hit the space stations. They have to go into that emergency pod.
Oh, my God.
It's a whole thing. They have a whole protocol to deal with friggin' space junk.
Space junk.
That's how much of it there is.
Yeah. What are we? I don't know. Who knows, man? What are we gonna do?
I know.
I say it like it's my job to solve it. Like
that's the thing. A lot of what concerns me on a daily basis, I am pretty powerless to solve.
Yeah, this is when I like because these kind of things do freak me out. Like I get like I start to get panicky about it, and then I have to remind myself, okay, what is within your control? If you're a worrier, people out there, and you know, like a lot of us are, and there are a lot of things to worry about these days. It is one of the most helpful tools that I've ever used, and I mean, you really have to do this, because this is how your brain works. It needs like to go through every single motion in this. You get 2 jars. They could be whatever you want. Tupperware containers, boxes, mason jars, I think, look the cutest. But that's just me. And on one, you write things in my control. And on the other, you write things out of my control. And then you put a Post-it note, like a little pad, sticky notepad, whatever they're called, in each jar. And a pen in each jar. To make it super easy. And then every time you have one of those thoughts, you write it down. And you have to write it, and you have to really act on like the first initial thought. Oh my gosh, what are we going to do about space junk? I would write down, what are we going to do about space junk? And then put it in the things that are out of my control jar. I don't know how that works. Maybe somebody who knows more about the brain than me can explain that one. But when your brain sees a jar of stuff, like it goes, oh, that thing that I was thinking, that's out of my control, and with all these other things, and then it sees the things that are within its control, and it looks at that jar and it's like manageable, and it only has like a few things in it. It provides this kind of like, okay, let's do this. Mm-hmm. That is so helpful,
right? So then you feel motivated rather than powerless.
Yes, and I encourage people to try these things, to just like prove me wrong. Like let's put it into action. It's so simple to do. And when we can go in and kind of like hack our brain and trick it since it's tricking us all the time.
Yeah, like with those faces.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, God. How do I do that? How do I... Man,
We'll have to put that in the
figuring
jar.
out the man in the moon thing. That makes perfect sense.
But
there are so many examples.
And all the things, though, in that out of your control jar, many of them somebody can control. And that's why it gets so maddening when those people choose not to.
Oh.
It's so infuriating.
It is.
Because,
how do you work on those feelings?
Right. Because then you got to add to the jar, I can't control Elon Musk.
I can't control Elon Musk.
Or whoever it is.
Right.
I can't control Jeff Bezos.
Can't control Bezos. Oh, man. The countdown is on for when my Amazon subscription runs out. And they are really trying to get me to sign back up.
What are they doing?
I just get emails all the time of
like red alert.
Here's how many days are... Yes, totally. You're going to lose this and this and this. I'm like, And then some people wrote to me and said that it's not doing any, like, this is wasted efforts or whatever.
Why?
I'm doing
Why did they say that?
Because a lot of small businesses are on Amazon.
Why is that your problem?
Did an Amazon bot write that?
Right.
Was that a message that I got from an Amazon robot?
Is that you?
Jeff, is that you? Did Jeff Bezos write this letter?
But they're providing a piece of information that actually, to me, solidifies your argument. Because the reason that small businesses are on there is because it's ubiquitous and monopolistic. Yeah. And hello legislators, need to intervene. And we do it all the time. And there's all kinds of antitrust laws that Jeff Bezos broke to get in the position that he's in because he followed the ask for forgiveness, not permission. And then it was too late. It was already done. What are you going to do? And so the only people that could do anything at this point are our legislators.
Preach it, sister. Look at that.
It's true.
Susie.
And we have to work on, you can cancel your Prime membership and all that, but the true consequential action comes with lobbying your people, representatives.
That would go in the jar of things that I can control.
Yes.
I can control what I do with my free time.
Yeah, your political advocacy. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then takes it into these action steps when you can think about, well, what can I control? Oh, and then you talk about it with people like this because you just took me to church there. That was
good.
Great.
So then you don't feel as sad.
Yes.
Okay. I like that.
Absolutely. And it kind of gave me, because I think sometimes when people get in that place of feeling that hopeless, oh, what do I do? Well, we know this from what we've read in books that What Happened to You book, that your brain can't even come up with good solutions when it's in that fear or terror place.
Right. Yeah.
Your IQ is lower. Mm-hmm. So we have to be able to write it down, take a step back, talk about it, process it, and then, oh, this is what I should do.
And people make the same argument about Facebook, and including me. Brain Candy is on Facebook. I don't like Facebook. I wish it didn't exist. And lots of small businesses are on there, and that's where they do a lot of their business. That is fair. But we should still work to regulate monopolistic enterprises. Come on now.
Absolutely. Didn't anybody see WALL-E?
Have you learned nothing from
another
huge company called Disney?
Golly.
Well, one thing that will help you, definitely, is taking care of yourself with ritual vitamins. Dun,
yes,
da, da, da.
Now there is something within your control.
Yeah, that's true.
Big time. And I have been... I'm just going to toot my own horn. I am so proud of myself. I have been taking my ritual vitamins ritualistically and better than I ever have ever before, because I really like, I was talking about a couple episodes ago, and like all in this like take care of my body thing. It's the best.
It is the best. Excuse me, I was sipping. It is the best, and it does feel really good to be on a schedule
Consistent.
and have a routine. And now they have the essential protein, so it's the plant-based protein powder.
Taking that too.
Right.
That's right. We're getting healthy over here.
Get healthy. I love it. The formula has 20 grams of pea protein in it, and they have a yummy taste, and you will love it. But I am number one fan of their vitamins because of how they feel in my body, and they don't make my stomach upset. So check out all their stuff. You can get ready to shake up your protein ritual. My listeners get 10% off during the first 3 months at ritual.com/braincandy. Ritual even offers a money-back guarantee. If you're not 100% in love, visit ritual.com/braincandy today for 10% off your first 3 months. Yes. Anything else we're mad about?
No, actually the rest of the things we're very happy about.
Oh, that's good.
You know why? Because the rest of my stories involve animals being awesome.
Being awesome. Let's hear it.
Yes. So, what are some of our favorite, yours especially, favorite animals that are super smart?
Me, I love chimps.
Well, also, you love something else that you want to be friends with.
Oh my God, what's the answer?
What animal do you wish?
Oh, crows. I love crows. Yes.
I was like,
I'm sorry.
Susie Meister, what animal do you want to be friends with?
I think because the word animal was throwing me. You know how like...
Right, we go through this all the time.
I know, it's so stupid. But yes,
the
crows. I
classifications.
love crows. They're so smart.
So once again, shout out to crows for being awesome. They are being put to use in a pilot project in a town that's right outside of Stockholm. I'm going to say the town right outside of Stockholm because I have no freaking clue.
Right.
It's S-O, 2 little dots over it, D-E-R-J, multiple J's.
It was really nice of them to make Stockholm sort of the one we always refer to.
Yes, thank you
easier.
for making that super easy on us.
Right.
So this project is training crows, or these scientists are training crows to pick up cigarette butts.
Oh, great idea.
They are doing it so well. So Stockholm has a major problem with
big smokers.
Yeah. And it's weird because I've been there and I didn't notice a lot of smoking.
Right. Well, it sounds like they also have a littering problem if they're just hanging out on the road.
So then that made me think that too. I was like, I wonder what the Venn diagram of smokers and litterers are.
I'll tell you what, the Venn diagram of smokers and good tippers is a circle.
Smokers are good tippers?
They're great tippers.
Talk to me about that.
Well, like when you're a waitress.
I love this.
Back in the day, we used to have smoking sections, you know?
Oh.
And you'd always want to be sat in, waiting on tables in the smoking section because they're much better tippers. The worst tippers are after Sunday church. Those families that come in, make a mess. Their kids eat all those Ritz crackers they get everywhere. And then they are terrible tippers.
Well, we can make some assumptions from that.
Yes, we can.
People who feel like they have just like come from doing something like so fantastic and wonderful, and look at what a good person I am. I went to church.
Yeah,
feel like
done.
they're done with the good deeds. People who feel like they are, I don't know, like not presenting a problem, but like you have to accommodate them.
My theory was always because they tend to be people like my dad, you know, like blue collar people who know what it's like to have to be a server.
Yeah.
And so, but that's just my theory.
I love that. So isn't that crazy to think how that you're probably like the last generation of servers.
Right. So
who know, because I was for like a hot minute, and I really mean a minute, was a server at a restaurant. There was no smoking section when I was at an age to be able to do that.
I bet you New York and California were the first ones, I bet, to outlaw that.
When did that go away?
Well, it was different in each state, but it was much later in Pennsylvania.
Oh my gosh. It's crazy to think that, man.
And like on planes, people used to smoke on planes. Can you imagine?
No, I can't imagine at all.
It must have felt like a real party.
Or do we associate smoking with parties?
I do now.
I just think everybody was high strung.
Right? They were just tense.
And smelly.
They needed those jars.
Yeah, they need those jars.
Instead of lighting up.
So freaking bad. Oh my gosh. Well, yeah. So I don't know why. I people in Stockholm. I did not see a lot of smoking there, but apparently
so
they're like puffing
chimneys.
Yeah, like they're smoking like a broke stove over there. A shocking 1 billion cigarette butts are found on Sweden streets each year. And they account for 62% of all the litter, according to the
Lord.
Keep Sweden Tidy Foundation.
Oh my gosh.
Which is a real thing.
That's a real funny foundation.
I know, isn't that cute? I clicked on the link and I tried, but it's all in Swedish and I couldn't. And I wasn't going to bother doing the translate thing anyways. But so this is like a big problem, and they spent $2.1 million on street cleaning each year. And so now they've developed this program, and the birds are picking up like 75% of the litter that's out there.
I love that. I do think that it wouldn't be a bad idea to take some of that money and put it towards like education about the dangers of smoking.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. After I read this, I felt like two things. One, like what are they doing with that extra dough? And two, how come the birds aren't getting paid?
Right. Maybe, do you think they give
Bird
them treats?
rights now.
Birds aren't real, Sarah. Do you think they give them treats? That has to be how they train them, right?
Yeah, so they've got to train them they've got to be rewarding them with food, of course. But I don't know.
I
feel like they got to treat these birds really. This is like
you want them to unionize.
Animal. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like maybe, or do they love it?
I thought they were similar to Labradors. They loved a job.
Okay, maybe they love a job.
What do I know about crow? Interior
Every time
life.
I think about crows now, all I see is that creepy mask. Do you remember that when we talked about many episodes ago, we talked about the study of crows where if they associated a space with somebody who was scary or caused danger, like they wouldn't return there.
Yeah.
And the mask that they used, they named Linda.
Right.
That was one of my favorite. I can't get that creepy image
that was
out
terrifying.
Of my face. Now there's a face that I see as a woman. That creepy one, but
that's terrible.
Yeah.
Well, because her name was Linda, though.
I know, right?
Hey.
So yeah, those crows, we love them all the time. They're doing good, and I think this is a program that is going to go to more cities. Like sometimes these programs with animals, especially with like the birds, we start them and then they. Oh my God! I was going to say they don't get off the ground. They don't get off.
Right.
They never take flight.
That could be like their, marketing for their, the work that they do.
Yeah,
I love it. Get your program off the ground with crows.
With crows. I think, and that would just be like adorable to have just like a little army of.
Yeah,
well, I mean, what do I love? I hate littering more than anything. So I love picking up trash. Like I love people who are recycling, and then I love like animals. It's like doing human work. That's adorable. Animals doing human things is like, who doesn't think that's cute? And I can just picture as like these little. With like little sashes or something on, or like the little, like the right. Like the old timey like bags that they would have with like the little stick with like picking up trash on the side of the road, like the crows.
Right, a litter getter. Yeah, that's adorable.
Yeah,
I bought one of those, by the way, from unfortunately Amazon. They, the things that they're like walking sticks, but they have a point and you can pick up trash. I bought one of those.
I want one of those.
Yeah. Damn it. Why didn't I think to get you one? You are the prime.
That's what's going on my birthday wish list.
For real.
I'm not kidding.
It is so fun to use and, helpful.
Well, because the biggest problem is I saw a tweet once that was like, everybody knows that one girl who has little pieces of trash in her bag or in her pockets in her purse because like she picks it up when she's on walks or something like that. And I was like, oh, I have like 10 in my bag right now. Mm-hmm. And then I wouldn't have that. I could just have them on the end of a stick. And then I'd throw them away. Ooh, and then I don't have to touch it.
Well, and all that bending down. I'm getting old over here, you know?
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. Don't I know it? I mean, I don't know it for you, but I know it for me after the being out and snowboarding and doing all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, how is that going in terms of...
buddy.
How is your body holding up? Any trouble?
It takes... It's... I don't bounce back. Like, I'm not, like, ready to go in the morning. It's like 2 days on and 1 day off kind of thing. Okay. Like, even if I want to. Like, yesterday, I just had a crappy day. And my ankles were sore. And I couldn't. I was just like, oh, God, name of the game is just get down the mountain right now.
Oh, my gosh.
And I could just feel that, like, I wasn't in the flow. Mm-hmm. But I think it was because I had just had a conversation with somebody that kind of put me in like an off mood. And so I think I was like in my head.
Yes. Yeah. Well, mind and body connection. I get that.
It sure is. Yeah.
I was thinking though about how like the age you are now is the age I was when we started this show.
Oh, wow.
And that disturbs me.
Why?
Just because I'm so much older than you.
You're not
like
so
we've
much.
done
I don't
600
episodes
or whatever in the interim. That's a lot of years.
We've done
between
so
us.
many episodes. Every time, like because like when you go on dates and people are like, "Oh, what do you do?" And I'm like, "Oh, I host a podcast." And then they're like, and I have to be like a real one, like we've done. And then I always tell them like how many episodes, and they're like, "Whoa."
Somebody just sent us a really sweet message. It made my day. But the beginning of it was, when you began, did you think that you would do 600 episodes? Wow. And I never thought about it. Like, I never thought, wonder how long this will last.
Wow.
But it is remarkable.
600.
Very few shows get this far.
No, I know.
I feel very proud of us.
Oh, me too. And, like, guys, I love my co-host.
Right. I don't want them getting the wrong idea right now. Like, we're not winding down this show.
No.
And I mean,
God,
like,
fucking ever.
Yeah, right. I mean,
we're running this till the wheels fall off. There's still so many things to talk about. Right.
Once we finish all of our topics, we'll stop.
Yeah. Like, I got one more for you. One more for you before we wind it down. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but not permanently. Let's clarify.
What? I missed that last
I'm saying
part.
Not permanently wind it down. Like, we're going to keep making brain candy.
Forever.
Okay, go ahead.
The end. You get to choose between, I have one more animal story for you. You get to choose between a story about, you want to know about beavers or you want to know about bees and butterflies?
Ooh, that is tough. I'll go bees. I'll go bees, butterflies.
Bees and butterflies. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, unfortunately, this one was kind of the sadder of the two stories. Damn it. Yeah, I know. Ugh. Maybe I'll give you some beaver facts just at the end, just to round us out. But apparently, bees and butterflies are having a hard time because of the pollution in the air. And they're not being able to smell and find flowers as well.
Really?
Because of pollution. I did not know. And now I don't know how I thought they did it. But I didn't know they could smell.
Well, and I didn't know that pollution smelled that much.
Oh my gosh. Okay, that's why now I remember why this story was interesting to me, because we were talking about the smell and how that's
the
like
nasal ranger.
Yes, and how it's kind of a form of there's like smell pollution too. And how just like because what is pollution? Pollution is they're like in our ozone. It's like stuff in our ozone, you know? It's like actual molecules that you can see it like that
it
smog.
Makes sense. And
so those kind of things like get in the way of bees and butterflies being able to smell where they're going. And so you combine all of that, and like we have all of those bee, what do they call it? Hive, what is that thing? Hive collapse? Something, colony collapse.
Oh, that's sad.
You know, that pollution is really related to that, and it's like a big thing we gotta.
I knew the bees because people make it very clear how consequential it is for bees to die. But what is the consequence with regard to butterflies?
Oh.
The butterfly effect, so to speak.
It had to do with being able to locate the flowers, to be able to pollinate them.
Oh, so it's the same,
so you know how
really.
They pollinate the flowers too. So it was because it's all like in the system,
God
all
damn
connected.
it. Yeah,
the
right.
Bees can't, if the bees and butterflies can't smell where they're going.
Yeah, we're screwed. That's all.
We're screwed. And that's why they're landing on freaking umbrellas in the middle of Times Square, and we got to send like the beekeeper to go out and get them.
Wait, that's so specific.
Because that was a real story.
Oh, the whole group of them. What's it called? Swarm.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Remember that there's the police officer that's the beekeeper?
Yeah. Now I do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I thought you were just like getting real specific with your example, your hypothetical examples.
No, I'm citing actual cases
Facts.
here. Yeah. Remember there was another one where the swarm showed up in the girl's car. She went into the grocery store, and it was a borrowed car. It was like her friend's car. Mm-hmm. She's like, bad
Trouble
news.
brewing. Bad news.
There's an entire hive in the car.
Sarah, I have good news.
What?
The good news is we have a really cool guest on today.
Oh, I love a really cool guest. I love all guests, especially a cool one.
Requires sort of a story because the guest is the wonderful, magnificent, and talented Steve Agee. If you're not familiar with Steve Agee, he is one of the stars of the Peacemaker series that's on HBO right now. The John Cena superhero-y thingy. But he weirdly worked on my road rules.
What?
Right. As like a PA. He was logging the tapes.
Stop.
Yes. And it's just so bizarre. And I had no idea. And one day he just wrote to me on Instagram, like under one of my pictures. And he was like, hey, did you know that I used to work on your road rules? I was blown away because...
Oh my gosh. He worked on road rules?
Right? How random is that?
I'm very excited because now I'm kind of like fangirling over our guest right now.
Yeah, he's
so
wonderful.
Freaking funny.
He's so funny. He was on the Sarah Silverman program.
Yes.
He is just an amazing comedic actor and an amazing human. And I just wanted him to come on because I really wanted to talk to him more. So this is really just about me, you guys. But everyone loves him. So it's just really an honor to have him on the show. And we just chin-wagged about like the good old days at Buena-Murray and like how his career went from that to now. He's like he's on the banner on when I log into HBO Max. I'm like, oh, there's
That is
Steve.
so cool.
Yeah, he's so cool. So I'm really glad that he came on. And I actually recorded this a long time ago, so I've apologized for the delay, but welcome to the show, Steve Agee.
I can't believe it. After all these years, Steve, we've arrived.
20 plus years.
Yeah, but like, have we ever met in real life?
No, this is the closest we've ever come.
What's with that? Why are you avoiding me?
Have you ever lived in Los Angeles?
Yeah. I just got back here. I was there for 6 years. But you're never there.
I'm gone a lot. I've been living out of a suitcase for 2 years right now.
Are you still homeless?
No, I just got a house, but I literally got the house in LA and was like, oh my God, I can just relax now. And then I booked another job. And so I'm back up in Toronto.
Do you kind of love chaos?
I really don't.
Oh.
I hate chaos. In fact, like I read a thing at the beginning of the pandemic about why some people watch the same movies or TV shows over and over.
Yeah.
And it's said that people who are high strung or anxious tend to rewatch the same things because they know what they're getting. They know there's no surprises.
Oh my God, yes.
It's like comforting. And I'm one of those people. I'll watch the same stuff over and over.
What are your go-tos?
Usually like John Hughes movies or
that's nice.
Or 80s comedies.
Yes. Mine are all 80s sitcoms. But it makes me sad now because I long for the olden days. I've become one of those people.
Yeah, it's unavoidable.
Because don't you think, like, even in those movies that you mentioned, like, the premise wouldn't work now because of phones?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So many scripts that people write now or movies that you see are set, before the mid 90s because cell phones solve a lot of problems. Like if you're being chased, even now, if there's an instance in a movie where someone's being chased, the go-to is I have no cell reception or my battery is dead.
Right. The thing that saves us can't save us.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I just longingly watch them now and think I need a time machine.
It's great.
Like, here's the thing about you. You're such a weird character. I don't even have questions for you because I'm just like, he's so strange. I might as well not bother. Like, who are you? Let's start at the beginning, shall we?
Sure.
Well, I just want to know how you even got into the entertainment industry. Were you one of these people that was like dreaming of Hollywood, bright lights?
Yeah, it's honestly a miracle. I grew up just an hour outside of Los Angeles, but I had never been to Los Angeles until I was almost 20. Like in my teens, I had a car. I never drove to LA. It seemed so far away. Yet when I was like 10, 11 years old, I knew I wanted to be a comedian. I knew I wanted to be an actor.
Is that when you felt like I'm super funny and this is my ticket?
No, I just liked comedies. Yeah. I didn't think I was funny. I was just a weirdo. And I didn't know how someone became an actor or became a comedian because nobody in my family was in the arts. Everyone was like in medicine or business. And I'm adopted, by the way.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh.
So it kind of made sense. I mean, that like, because I found my biological father years later when I was in my 30s and found out that he and my biological mother were both theater students.
Stop.
Yeah, it really made a lot of sense once I found all this out. I was like, oh my God, this is purely nature over nurture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Does that feel strange to you though?
No, it made total sense. I was like, oh my God, so I'm not a crazy person. It was literally in my blood.
Did you have a positive experience when you found your birth family?
I only found my biological father, and I found him kind of by accident. And it was an incredibly positive experience. I knew both my biological parents' names. And I had a girlfriend whose cousin worked in like adoption, and she was able to like find out where they went to school. And that's how I found out they were theater students. And one night I was 30 years old, and I was just bored, and I was sitting home alone one night like I always do. And I decided to just look at the school that they went to and see, check out the drama department. And then just on a whim, I emailed the head of the drama department. I said, you don't know me, but my biological parents went to school there in the late 60s. I was wondering if anybody who's there now was teaching there back then. This was a Friday night. And Monday, I got an email from the guy going, 1968 was my first year working here. I knew both your parents.
No.
I don't know what happened to your biological mother, but I still keep in touch with your biological father. And I forwarded him your email, which is kind of a dick move. Like, you should have asked ask my permission. But had he done that, I would have been like, no, don't send him my email.
Yeah. Maybe it worked out how it was meant to.
Yeah. And that's how I met my biological father.
Were you one of those people, though, that knew that you were adopted all along, or was there some big reveal?
It's a big reveal. It was, I think I was like 11 or 12. It was probably 11.
No.
And we had in the living room, there was a giant bookshelf, and on the bottom shelf were a bunch of photo albums. And there was a baby book there for me. There was one for my sister. I think there was one for my brother. And I was looking through my baby book, photos of me as a little kid. And in the very back of it were a bunch of cards to my parents from when I was born. Congratulations on your baby boy. And I was just looking at them, and just by chance, I picked up one card that said, congratulations on your adopted baby boy.
Stop it. Stop.
That's how I found out I was adopted.
What did you feel?
It was so surreal. I was like, this is a mistake. Somebody probably
Shut up.
Went to the card store and they were all out of cards. And so one of my dad's funny friends probably thought this was a joke, because that's the type of stuff I would do.
Yes.
I always give out like quinceanera cards to my 50-year-old friends on their birthday. And so I went in the kitchen and I had the card in my hand, and I went up to my mom. I'm like, what is this?
Oh my God.
She immediately started crying. She's like, oh my God. She's like, it was one of those things where she's like, nobody tells you what age you're supposed to tell a child they're adopted. And we've been trying to figure out when to tell you or when you'd be old enough to understand. And that's when I found out.
Did you feel traumatized?
I really didn't. I felt lucky.
That's true. It's a beautiful thing, but an 11-year-old to think of it that way, I would think
it's pretty heavy.
Typical. Yeah. It's a pretty big surprise.
But I felt like I won, the lottery.
Yeah.
My dad was a doctor, my mom was a nurse. They were great.
Yeah. That's just a lot to process. Was it one of those things though, where then you like unpacked your childhood and you were like, now it all makes sense?
Well, I was 11, so I wasn't unpacking anything mentally. I was just like, okay, can I go out and ride my bike?
Okay.
But throughout the years, I was like, oh man, this totally makes sense. Me wanting to be an actor and a comedian.
That is so cool. And so you had these pie in the sky aspirations of performance and entertainment. Yeah. And then when did you take the plunge? Well,
I remember around the same year when I was 11, the first album I bought with my own money was a George Carlin album. I was 11. I didn't understand most of his jokes.
Yeah.
I just knew he was funny. But I think I was in college and my mom cut out a clipping in the back of the local newspaper about auditions for A Christmas Carol at the local community theater. She knew I wanted to do that stuff. And so I auditioned and I got the part of Jacob Marley, and I think I was 18 or 19.
So great.
That was the start of it. Yeah.
And when you came off the stage the first time, were you just that thing where people say they got bit by the bug or what?
Yeah, totally. I mean, even before that, in rehearsals, I was like, oh my God, all these people are awesome. Yeah.
And is it attention seeking that was fulfilling to you or what?
Totally.
Okay.
Well, attention and also a creative itch that, you don't really get in school.
Yeah. Or life ever.
In history class or whatever.
And so then, we've talked about how you tragically ended up working with, I guess, Buna Murray, was it?
Yeah, yeah.
So, but you were
For
behind
years.
the camera. Why the heck weren't you on with me? That would have been way more fun.
I got to LA as a musician. I'll tell you what, Susie, I have tried every I've dipped my toe in every pool of the arts that there is before I found like actual comedy and acting. I knew I wanted to do that, but I went to college. My parents wanted me to go to college. I didn't want to go to college, but all my friends were also in college. And I thought I would be a marine biologist because I grew up scuba diving and in the ocean. And
damn, you're a real Renaissance man. My goodness.
I'll be a marine biologist. I think that would be fun. And then my first semester in college, like I failed every biology course. I just couldn't wrap my hands. It's also weird that as a freshman, as a teenager, they start you off on the molecular level of biology. And it's like you go in there, you're like, I just want to pet fish. Like, what is mitosis? I don't understand any of this. Mitosis. And I failed my first semester and I finished undecided. And then my best friend Sam was like, dude, just be an art major. My friend Sam was a photography major. And he's like, I've seen you doodle and draw stuff. He's like, be an art major. It's super easy. And so I got a degree in painting. And I've not touched a paintbrush since I graduated. But
you didn't love it?
I didn't love it. It's super messy, and I don't like that.
Stop.
I don't like cleaning paintbrushes or I don't like going to the beach because I hate sand on me. Like, so painting wasn't going to work.
Wow, because it's not tidy enough.
But while I was in college, my roommate was in a band, and I also played bass guitar. And one day their bass player broke his arm. And he was like, do you want to come to our rehearsal and just jam with us? And I went and we played around and like just joking around and fooling around. We wrote like 5 funny like punk songs. And I was like, we should be playing places. Like, this is amazing. We just wrote 5 songs. And so I went home that day and just started calling rock clubs, trying to get us shows. Yeah. And the first show we ever did as a band was at the Whiskey A Go-Go. I don't know how I conned this guy into like letting us perform, but we did the Whiskey and we started playing a lot of shows in LA and San Diego and Riverside. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to be a musician. I'm not going to be a painter. And after I graduated, I didn't want to have to find a job. So I enrolled in a music school in Los Angeles. And so that's what got me to LA was this band and music. The band immediately broke up. Like the singer went to join the seminary and become a pastor. He's still a pastor.
Stop. What kind of pastor? Just curious.
Seventh-day Adventist.
Oh, okay.
He was a youth pastor for a while. Now he's like a legit like pastor.
Wow. Okay.
We still talk. I just talked to him last night. Tim Gillespie is the best. And nice. And the guitar player became a nurse. And I think the drummer is now a lawyer or an archaeologist.
What are the others?
He was studying archaeology when we were in college, but I think he's now a lawyer.
Okay. So then you're left without...
I'm left in LA. I finished the music school, and my girlfriend, who I had been with for 6 years, immediately broke up with me because she was a photography major too. And I think she was just like, we're going to have a miserable life together as 2 starving artists. It totally makes sense. I was like, yeah, you're right.
No.
And so I had to stay in LA. So I just started playing in different bands, and I started taking classes at the Groundlings, and I had a teacher, Melanie Graham, who was a story editor on Real World. And I had been working at Starbucks, and she's like, look, I can get you a job at Buena Murray if you want. You can at least be working in TV. You can work in TV. And I was like, okay. And so I got a job logging videotapes.
Yeah.
And I did that for Road Rules Down Under was my first TV job. I literally I had a night shift so I could take classes during the day. I sat all night watching idiots drive around
do nothing.
Australia.
Right, because the person that logs the tape has to watch all the boring
the raw
everything.
Footage. Yeah.
And then what do? You write like on this tape, so-and-so said whatever.
Yeah. The tape's hooked to a machine that's hooked to a computer, and it's reading the time code, and you say, at this point in the tape, Susie's flirting with a Aussie rules football player, or Keithla won't share his emotions.
Oh God, stop.
He doesn't want to drive, on the left side of the road.
And when you're doing that, does it, because I presume you had seen like Real World on television, right? At that point.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, I grew up on MTV, and I remember Real World New York and all the Real Worlds after it. I remember thinking, there's no way reality TV lasts.
Really?
Even while I was working in it, I was like, this can't last. This is
terrible.
It's rehashed. It's just different kids in a different location arguing. And I've now, resigned to the fact that it's never going away because it's inexpensive TV to make, and it generates a lot of viewership. When
you watch it now, though,
I don't.
Doesn't it feel like in theory?
Yeah.
Isn't it weird considering it's nothing like what you saw and what you were working on, right?
Kind of. I mean, I was in it for a long time. I worked. I wrote Road Rules Down Under was my first, and then I went to the other side of the building to do Real World Seattle, Real World Hawaii, and then I left Butte-Murray to go do the Osbournes, and then I left the Osbournes to go do Temptation Island 1 and Temptation Island 2, and then I left that to go do Joe Millionaire 1 and 2.
No.
Once you start working in reality TV, it's always easy to find a job in reality TV.
Yeah, but thank God you moved on with your life.
Yeah.
Some of these people really stick around.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's so many shows and there is no shortage of jobs.
No.
But it's soul crushing.
It is soul crushing. I mean, I had to stop because when I was working Joe Millionaire, I started having like, just morality issues. And I'm like, we're completely manipulating these tapes and these edits to make some of these girls look easy.
Yeah.
To make some of these people look dumb when they're not, in fact, not dumb. And I just remember watching a lot of footage from Joe Millionaire of this guy who's like, just like a construction worker who they're making all these girls think is a millionaire. Yeah. And like multiple times, him just like walking off set into a hallway and the producer's going, what's wrong? He's like, I can't do this. These girls, I'm lying to these girls. He was a great guy. And he's like,
he had like ethical concerns.
He had ethical issues. And then just listening tapes are all rolling, and then listening to these producers just go, no, it's okay. Yeah. They know what it's just like, dude.
Do you feel like the general sentiment is the ends justify the means? Like it's making an entertainment and it's fine.
I don't think it justifies it.
I don't, but do you think that's what?
I saw a lot of casting tapes too. And like, I honestly think Road Rules was, of all of them, the best one, because it was like, they're casting you guys to go do, tasks and stuff and games. And Real World, they're just like casting fucked up people to put in a cage together and like fight. They're looking for people who are going to be problematic. They're looking for an innocent type. They're looking for a Susie Meister.
Yeah.
They're looking for a guy who is so fucked up that he'll slap a girl,
Yeah. Did you log that tape?
On Seattle?
Yeah.
I did.
Slap heard around the world. What did you think when you saw it? Just another day at the office?
No, as soon as that tape came out, I was like, oh my God, this is the whole episode. It's going to revolve around this slap. But we also knew it was coming. Like, they're like, okay, tonight we're getting a shipment of tapes and it's got the slap. And Steve, you've been working here for 3 years, so you log this tape. And I was just like, I don't want to log this tape. I don't want to watch Irene get slapped.
I always talk about how, they talk still about Pedro on Real World and how,
sure.
It was such a great moment because it educated people and whatever. And they keep hanging their hat on this thing that's like 25 years old and that they've never reproduced in terms of consequential progress.
No.
So maybe they could try doing that again.
It would be great if they did. But like they're really hanging their hat on
Right.
conflict and.
Yes.
Oh
and Susie wouldn't be cast anymore. Let's admit that. I mean,
I think she would.
You think they're casting virgins?
I think they cast a lot of people who they know are going to be problematic, but they always want to put in a moral center into the house.
God
you know
bless.
What I mean?
Yes. Well, okay. So you escaped reality television.
Yeah.
And then what were you feeling at that point? Like where was your heart moving in terms of?
Well, I that around that same time I started like having like really bad panic attacks, like day, like I'd had panic attacks since like high school, but like maybe once every 2 years.
What caused them? Like, what were you?
I don't know what caused them. I don't know what would trigger them. I know that later they were triggering themselves. Like I would have multiple a day just thinking about having.
Right.
You have a
like
panic attack.
Self-perpetuating.
It's terrifying. And then that's all you think about is, and when's the next one? And I became agoraphobic. I didn't leave my house for like 3 months because I was just having panic attacks. And
I'm so sorry.
Kind of very embarrassing. And I remember one night going to 7-Eleven because I would just get my food at night. Like I would go to a store or a 7-Eleven or a drive-through where I didn't have to be around people. And I remember parking in the parking lot and looking in the store, and I could see one person still in there shopping, and I had to wait for them to leave before I could go in.
Yeah.
And so I just broke down and started like sobbing. And I called Sarah Silverman, who's one of my best friends. And she was like, dude, you got to see somebody. You got to start talking to somebody. She's like, go to my shrink. And I went and saw her shrink, and I got put on Lexapro, which is an anti-anxiety, antidepressant. And within 2 weeks, it was just like gone.
No.
Like I was back on stage performing, and it changed my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you felt ready in 2 weeks to get back on the horse.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I mean, who knows if it was a placebo effect, like I'm doing something positive.
Whatever.
But I'm still taking Lexapro because I'm like,
it does the trick.
Yeah, it does the trick.
And then what kind of act did you have at that time in terms of stand-up? What were you joking about?
It's mostly, most of my stand-up is like storytelling stuff.
And those are stories from your life that you share.
Kind of, yeah.
And did it feel the same to you as theater? And did you feel fulfilled in the same way?
It was better than theater to me. Like I was afraid. I was really afraid to do plays because I have a huge fear of forgetting my lines on stage, like to the point where it consumes me. Like the last time I did a play was probably in like 2000. And I was just like, anytime I wasn't actually on stage, I was like, oh my God, am I going to forget my lines?
Why didn't you feel that way about comedy? Like forget your act or whatever?
Because I can improvise my way through my set. Like I knew it that much. Like it wasn't someone else's writing. It was my experiences. And since it was storytelling, I had a lot more freedom with the story. I didn't have to have it memorized. I lived it. So I could tell those stories like no problem.
So then when did you start working like as an actor?
About 2006. After I got onto Lexapro, Sarah got me a job. She was dating Jimmy Kimmel at the time. And so I started doing a job as a researcher on his show and eventually ended up as a writer. And shortly after I became a writer, Sarah had written her show for Comedy Central with a part for me, and it ended up getting picked up. So we did that show for about 4 years. And that was like my first real acting job. And I was like, oh my God, I'm a regular on a sitcom. Yeah. This was easy. Like, this is never going to end. And then, you know, her show ended in 2010, and it was just like, oh my God, am I ever going to work again?
Yeah. Well, did you feel at the time when it was on and people are knowing who you are and it's real fancy, did it feel, did you feel like you imagined it would?
Yeah. I mean, I realized how lucky I was, because this was a show Sarah wrote with her friends in mind. She wrote it, like, I was friends with a lot of the writers already. They were stand-ups, and, you know, she cast her sister, she cast Brian Posehn, who, you know, we were all friends going into it. So it was like, I knew this was a special gig. I knew they weren't all going to be like that great, but yeah, it was a pretty good first gig.
I'll say, do you think that feeling of like, oh shit, I'm never going to work again is just how you feel forever when you're in that business, or are you over that?
I'm over it now. I mean, I'm, you know, I'm accepting the fact that I'm a character actor. So most of my jobs are going to be on other people's shows, like the homeless guy, the psychotic drunk, the drug addict, like the stoner. I play a lot of those parts, but I work a lot because of it. And there was a time a couple of years ago where I was a recurring character on like 5 TV shows that were all running at the same time. So I was like, okay, I think I'm going to be okay.
I'll say, I get so excited when I see you too. You were on Roseanne.
Yeah.
I was so delighted.
Last year, yeah.
That was really special.
That one was a dream come true. I loved the original Roseanne show. And then, I mean, she was gone by the time I was on the show, but I'm such a huge fan of John Goodman, and getting to play one of his friends was like awesome.
Yeah, I wonder about that with you, because you know everybody and you're beloved. And I always think, does he get how fun and cool this is, or is it like no big whoop anymore?
Oh no, it's always, when we shot Suicide Squad, I was on set with Nathan Fillion one day, who's been doing this for way longer than me and way more successfully than me. We were sitting on set just looking at like the massive scope of it, and he was just like wide-eyed, and he was like, can you believe we get to do this?
Yeah.
And I was like, no, this is incredible. It never, walking onto a sound stage never gets old. It's always exciting.
Well, maybe that's how you know you're doing what you ought to be doing.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, what do you think it is? And you're going to think I'm joking, but what do you think it is about you that makes people love you so much? Like, I've never heard anything mean or bad. What is the scoop?
I think it's because I'm a people pleaser. That's my personality type. I've always been like, I don't like conflict. Like,
okay,
you know, if I'm ever somewhere and people are arguing, I'm always the one trying to get it settled. And I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah, no wonder you hated reality TV.
Oh my God.
My God, that was not a good fit for you.
No, it was crazy.
I notice also on Instagram, how could I not really? I mean, you're very big into birthdays.
Not into birthday. I've joked about this, like, I'll write to young people saying, be careful how many friends you make, because at some point you're going to be spending every day wishing somebody a happy birthday.
Okay, so this isn't because you just love birthdays with all your heart.
No, I find them kind of annoying.
Stop it.
I really do.
So you are a people pleaser. You just want to make people feel good.
Yeah.
What?
Also, we're living in an age where, because of computers and smartphones, like, I'm alerted every time somebody has a birthday. It's like, oh God, now I got to find a photo of my friend to post on Instagram.
Well, I was just wondering when your birthday is.
February 26th.
Okay. And are you a guy who really gets into your own birthday?
Not anymore. Not since I hit 50.
Why?
It's literally, I just stayed alive for a year. That's literally all it is.
But why 50 though? Why
Well,
was that
in my 40s, I was like, all right, this is good.
Enough is enough.
I mean, the attention's fine, but it's like Patton Oswalt has a great bit on birthdays and how for little kids, it's great. You have a birthday every year until you're like, 13. And then it's like, wow, 13, I'm a teenager now. And then it's like, I'm 14 and it's like, who cares? Go to school. Like, it's like, and then it's like, you shouldn't be happy until your 16th birthday because now you can drive. Then your 18th, now you can vote and shoot a gun. And then it's like 20, yes, like every decade you can celebrate and be happy. And 21 because you can drink. But then it's literally like once, every decade, you're 20, you hit 30, 40, 50, you can celebrate.
So you like basically stopped whenever people start using that like 30 years young, the years young thing. That's when you're like, fuck this.
Yes, I moan when I sit up in bed in the morning. I'm not 50 years young. I'm 50 years old.
And have you ever been a married man?
I haven't.
Why is that? Are you opposed?
No, I love marriage, I think.
Stop it. Okay, so are you single?
I am single right now. I mean, there's a pandemic. There's no way I was going to get on a dating app during a deadly pandemic. I'm terrified.
What's your dating app of choice if you were to do it?
I think the last one I used was Bumble.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think that's
I prefer to meet people apps really freak me out. I like meeting, when it's like I go out with a bunch of friends and there's a girl that I'm like, oh, who's this? Like,
yeah,
she's cool. And you actually get to talk to them at the party. And that's the way. And I used to be obsessed with like, Jesus Christ, I'm 40. My parents had kids at this age and like feeling the pressure. And then feeling like I had to find somebody, and all the best situations have been when I haven't been expecting it or looking for it.
Okay. So now you are single and ready to mingle. You're just not going to go on the apps.
I might do the apps, but yeah, I don't know.
Are you picky or what?
I'm pretty picky.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the problem? Like, what are you mad about?
I don't know. I look, it seems kind of trite, but it's like, you'll hear people say like, something's got to be wrong with this girl if she's going to go out with me. Like the Groucho Marx, why would I be a member of any club that would have me as a member?
Oh my gosh. So their interest in you makes you suspicious.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Kind of.
Okay. Are you open to like blind dating or what?
What are you trying to say here?
Like, I want to find the perfect gal for you because I think you're really special. And I just want someone real special. But everybody, so what's the point?
Also, part of it has always been because of the nature of my business. There's been times, when I'm at my most single, where I'm also at my least employed, where I'm like, I don't want to meet a girl right now while I'm not working. I feel like that's unattractive and like dicey, so it's kind of hard in this business. I mean, I'm at a point now where I'm good. And that's not an issue for me, but that's always been an issue.
It's been a thing. Have you ever thought about taking the Mensa test?
No, I haven't.
You should do that. I feel like you're going to get in.
I think I'm a dummy.
Oh, really?
The only test I've taken recently was the Myers-Briggs?
Right. What are you? What's your thing?
Viola Davis gave it to me when we were shooting Suicide Squad. She's like, have you taken the Myers-Briggs? And I was like, I don't even know what that is. She's like, I'm going to give you this test because I think you and I are a lot alike. And
was she right?
Yeah, we're the exact same type, which I don't remember what it is, but we were both like, wow, we really are the exact same type.
Was the general gist that you're extroverted or introverted?
Introverted.
Are you?
Yeah.
How do you think that works where you're a performer, but you're introverted?
I think just the fact that I can go out and perform is me being able to release a lot of pent up anxiety or need to, show off. I don't want to do it at a party. I don't want to be like, hey, everybody, I got a story to tell. Gather around. I don't want to be that guy. That guy's annoying as hell. Right. I'll walk out on a stage where people have paid to see me do it.
Okay.
I feel okay doing it. By the way, I keep thinking I'm wearing like a gold chain or something. And it's really creeping me out.
I like it. It's a good look. You're very handsome. I was wondering.
I have this beard for the TV show I'm shooting right now, and I hate.
Oh, you don't love beards?
Hate beards. Oh. My last 3 or 4 jobs have required me to have a giant, gross, homeless man beard.
Oh my gosh! I thought you enjoyed them.
Hate them.
Why? They're
I like having scruff or like really short hair, but like this is. Look how wispy this is. Like I'm backlit, so you can see all the way through my beard to my finger. It's disgusting.
Do you have to shampoo it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They never tell you that beard dandruff is a thing, but it really is.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've learned something just from that.
If you don't wash your beard regularly, you always look like you've been eating crackers.
Oh, no. This is
it's disgusting.
Good.
It's disgusting.
Well, it suits you, though. You look cute.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
I can't wait to shave. I finished shooting here day after tomorrow, and as soon as they wrap me, I'm going in the makeup trailer and shaving this off.
It'll be like the opposite of Movember or whatever the hell that is, where like all the men do the thing. Yeah, I approve.
Thanks.
How do you feel? I will wrap this up. I know I'm taking too long already, but
no, it's my day off. I literally have nothing to do.
Okay. How do you feel like the entertainment business has changed since you've been in it during your time? Or maybe not. Maybe it hasn't.
I think a lot of ways it hasn't changed. But I think we're living in a time right now where it's things are changing for the better too, as far as equality and equal pay. Like women have gotten the shaft ever since movie cameras were invented. Like, incredibly low pay, like for literally no reason other than the fact that they're women.
Yeah, it's a real bum deal.
It's insane. And the fact that anyone would deny it or be like, no, she's making enough. Like, no, she's, making less than her co-star, and they work the same amount of days. They're on the same show. Why is she not making as much as him?
And you feel like we've made some progress, or things are happening?
We're starting to. People are being a lot more vocal. People are speaking out more and sticking up for themselves, and other people are embracing that and enabling, this. Not everybody. We still have a long ways to go, but wheels are in motion, which I think is a good start.
Whenever you're stopped on the street, by groupies, what is the type of person that tends to say hello to you?
People that look exactly like me. Like comic book nerds.
Right.
Like,
do you welcome
I can spot them down the sidewalk going, oh man, this dude's gonna like know who I am. And it's always like, hey man, and they've got like pizza grease on their shirt.
No. And do they always ask the same stuff?
No, they usually don't ask questions. It's usually, everyone's usually pretty good about being like, hey, I loved you on this show, or good job on that show. And
they just want to be your friend, really.
Yeah, or just say hi, which is good.
That's enough. Did you ever feel, I don't know what the word is.
Stalked?
Just sort of like uncomfortable with the attention, or was it always something you enjoyed?
It's a little uncomfortable. I don't always take compliments well, so it's like, I'm always like, oh, and I always try and turn it around to the, hey, I loved you on this show. Oh, cool, thanks. What's your name? Oh yeah, you live here? Oh, what do you do? Like, I always just try and go, let's focus on you, man. I know what shows I've been on. I don't need to hear my resume recited back to me.
It's very sweet though that they love you and adore you. Are you a man of faith?
That's a very good question. I grew up, you have a doctorate, right, in religious studies?
Yeah.
Because I remember on Road Rules, that was a big thing. Susie's a Christian, and
right.
Why is this a big deal?
It was a very big deal. Right.
But I even remember like going, oh God, she's a Christian. But that's because I grew up in a Christian house, going to Christian private schools. And I went to a Christian college. I was raised Seventh-day Adventist. And I early on just started questioning everything and being like, really? A flood covered the whole world for 40 days. Okay, I can believe that when I'm 6, but why are all these grown-ups accepting this?
Right.
And so I, by college was like, I'm over it. I don't believe in this. There's famine. There's, children getting cancer. I don't believe. This is crazy.
Yeah.
I was a pretty staunch atheist. I mean, and then I remember I'd even done like someone's podcast about atheism. I was like, yeah, I'll do it. I'll talk about being an atheist. But then it was about 6 years ago that everything changed when my dad was dying. And I just remember every day my mom would sit by his bed, like at the hospital, like all day, every day, holding his hand. And then at the end of the day, when she would leave, they would pray together. And I was like, how the fuck can I take this away from people who this is like their form of hope? And like, I'm not going to fucking tell my mom, why are you praying? That's doing nothing. Like, it's clearly doing something.
Yeah.
If there's a God or no God, this is like, hope does a lot for people. And I just remember going, okay, I'm no longer an atheist because like, I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know that there is a God. I don't know that there isn't a God. And then after my dad passed away, I was like really, really depressed, like unconsolably depressed for a long time. This was like the first person I was really close to that died. And people started saying, hey, maybe you should meditate. Have you ever meditated? And I was like, no, it seems too hippie, new age-ish.
Yeah.
But enough people started saying it that I was like, all right, I can meditate. And so I was introduced to a meditation teacher, and I learned Vedic meditation, which is basically the same as transcendental. It's mantra based, and it completely changed everything, the way I viewed the world and life and the meaning of the universe. And because I suddenly just felt connected to everything. I could meditate and just go so far inside of myself that I could feel a connection to just the air around me, to the earth, to the trees, to everybody. And it was an incredible feeling. And I've come out of that with the thought that we are all connected, everybody, and not just people, but we're connected with animals, with the earth, with the universe. And that goes for if you believe in a God who created all this, then you still need to believe that we all come from that God. So we are all created, whether it's his image or whatever you want to believe, we are all like made from the same stuff. Or if you believe there was a giant explosion that caused all this, that kicked all this off, then you got to believe we're still all connected and come from the same stuff. So I don't know the answers, but I'm not going to deny someone's religion. I mean, I do get a little bummed out by people who use religion for their own agendas, like politically. There's a lot of that going on. But I also remember, when I started following you on Instagram, I'm like, oh my God, this Susie, you really have it together. And I was like, why? I really wish. So I was like, oh, she has a doctorate in religious study. I mean, you're clearly still Christian, right? You know,
No.
Oh, you're not?
Mm-mm.
Are you religious at all?
No.
Oh, you're not?
Mm-mm.
I just assumed you were what was your changing point or your tipping point?
It was just, I wanted to see if it stood up to academic rigor, you know, my faith. And then the longer I studied, the less I believed. But I would say I fall into the same category as you. I think there's more to this story that we don't know. And really what I object to is certainty. Someone who says, I know the answer and I'm definitely right. And
that's interesting. I assumed you were still,
no.
It's like, oh, she went and got a doctorate in religious studies. She's got to be religious.
Well, but that's why though, because I was
that's amazing. Because I was, you know, on Instagram, I'm like, she gets it. Oh my God, a Christian who gets it, you know?
God.
But there are Christians who do get it, you know?
Yes, for sure. And I would say I believe that I'm a follower of Jesus. I just don't happen to think he's divine. And but he inspires me and you know, informs my political leanings at the moment. But you know, my mom's sad because I'm going to go to hell and all that jazz. But what can you do?
So are all my relatives.
Yeah, and I get it, because if I believed what they believe, I'd be sad too. If my
I have a lot of Christian relatives who are the most angry, gun-toting, QAnon. I have a lot of QAnon relatives. I'm like, really? Really? You think Jesus would be this hateful and this intolerant? Did you not read the Bible?
Yeah.
Did you not read about all the people that he used to hang out with? It's insane to me.
Yeah, it's very hard for me to stomach. Like, my sister stormed the Capitol, Steve. Like, you know,
my brother was at Trump's inauguration.
No.
Yeah.
For real?
He's not a QAnon guy, and he's like not an anti-vaccine. Like, my brother's vaccinated. Like, so I got to give it to my brother. Like, he's still like, you know,
still hanging on.
There's still hope.
Wonder what motivates that. He's just like super conservative.
Yeah.
Damn it.
I mean, it was, you know, it was our whole family, you know, growing up.
Yeah.
I mean, when I turned 18 years old, the day I turned 18, my dad's like, we're taking you to register you to vote. Okay. You're Republican. Okay. I was like, I'd never given it a thought.
Do you remember the first presidential election in which you voted?
I think it would have been George Bush Sr. And
you voted for him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I think my dad filled out my ballot, like my sample ballot. It was like, take this, write all these. And I was like, all right. I didn't care. I was like, okay.
Well, and then did that shift happen at the same time you started thinking about religion in a different way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
By college, I was like,
wait
although I think I'm still like, technically, I think I'm still a registered Republican. I don't think I ever changed it.
I think it's time.
Which is great. I can still vote in primaries, like Republican primaries.
That's true. You could sabotage if you wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'm on the same path as you in terms of religion, but like, don't you find it, I don't know, do most people you're around in Hollywood share your worldview?
Politically, I think so, but I mean, religiously, I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of them are probably atheists.
Do you still meditate?
Yeah. I don't do it sometimes it's just, I should be doing it twice a day, every day. And I always feel better when I am doing it twice a day, right? But it comes and goes for me. But I never feel better.
Yeah. All right.
Do you meditate?
Yes, but I feel like you. I feel like it's like exercise. I never want to do it, but I'm always glad I did.
Yeah,
that kind of thing. I always wonder about that. Why does the human brain not crave something it enjoys?
I don't know.
I need answers, Steve. Okay, my friend Matt Neroni
Yeah.
He enjoys you, and I asked him if he had any questions.
Yeah.
And he said,
nope.
No, he didn't.
I don't enjoy him that much.
Back off, Suze. I'd like to hear about his experience as part of the Channel 101 scene. He seems like he was really into it, and he's often associated with it. Yeah. How does he feel about it now? What are his favorite memories? Are there any shows that he thought were particularly good?
Wow, that's amazing. Channel 101 was basically a monthly short film festival that was created by my friends Dan Harmon and Rob Schraub. Dan Harmon created the TV show Community, and he's co-creator of Rick and Morty. And Rob was his writing partner in the 90s, and they created a show called Heat, Vision, and Jack, which was at the time, the most expensive pilot that Fox ever made. It was directed by Ben Stiller, starring Jack Black and Owen Wilson. Really funny. They only did a pilot, and then Fox decided to pick up Malcolm in the Middle instead. But you can find the pilot online. It's really funny. And then Rob and Dan both went on to co-create the Sarah Silverman program, which I was on. And Rob was an executive producer, writer, and director of that. And Rob's one of my best friends. But those two guys started Channel 101, which was once a month. Anybody who wanted to could submit a CD or DVD tape or like a mini DV tape of a 5-minute or less pilot. And you have to write it as if you're writing a television show. Like if it got picked up, you would have more episodes to do.
Yeah.
And so people would send those in to Rob and Dan, and there would be a committee of people, usually who were already had pilots in the show, and they would vote on their 5 favorite ones. And so those 5 top pilots would go on to the next month's show, and the audience would watch and then vote. And if your pilot got enough votes, it would come back. Just kind of like a weird TV series. And it was just a bunch of friends. It started as a bunch of friends at a Thai restaurant. We were doing these at, what was the Thai place called? Toy. Do you remember Toy?
No.
Thai restaurant? Mm-mm. It was on Vine. There's one on Sunset too, but there was one on Vine, and they had a projection TV. So we'd go and eat Thai food, and we would show these things, and people would vote. And it was always like 20 people. And then it just started growing till it was like we had to find bigger places and eventually movie theaters to have these things. But it was like, usually it was just friends trying to make 5-minute like short films to shock their other friends. Like I think Dan created a show called Laser Dick, which was a guy who like he could shoot lasers out of his dick. Like it was dumb stuff like that. And it was the best time of my life. It was a bunch of like-minded people making stupid videos. And in the process, learning how to write, learning how to edit, learning how to shoot. Like,
yeah.
All these people went on to like the Lonely Island guys were there at the very beginning. They were making videos before they went to Saturday Night Live. It was Andy Samberg and, Yorma and Akiva and, Justin Roiland, who went on to do Rick and Morty with Dan. And like all these people like cut their teeth at this film festival. And it's still going. Like I haven't been in years, but it's still like going. But it really started before it had a name. We would just get together once a month at Rob's house, and Rob or Dan would pick a movie that none of us had seen. And so we would all like smoke pot and watch this movie. But before we'd watch the movie, everyone had to come in with a video of their interpretation of what we thought the movie was going to be. And so it was like just us laughing at each other, making dumb videos. And then it kind of grew into these, monthly like little festivals. It was amazing.
I love that you made a whole career out of just like having fun with your friends.
Yeah, that's the best
so
way to
lucky.
do it. Yeah.
Because I always say,
and I've worked with my friends on a lot of.
Yeah.
Somehow I've gotten to work, whether it's New Girl, or Superstore or these movies with James Gunn. I'm working with a lot of friends like all the time. It's really cool.
It's a sweet gig.
It really is.
We always talk on the show about how, you know, we were paid to be ourselves on reality TV and then somehow figured out a way to keep that going, to get paid to be yourself. That is a lucky thing.
Yeah. How long have you guys been doing your podcast?
Like 6 years.
You've done like over 500.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
We have a lot to say.
I know. It's great. Your podcast is great. You guys are complete idiots together. It's awesome.
What do you think is the best pilot that was ever made?
In television?
Yeah.
Boy, I don't know. I mean, it's probably... I mean, there's so many that never get seen or never get made. I've done a bunch of them that have never seen the light of day.
How many you think you've done?
Not as many as a lot of people. I've done probably like 4 or 5. The last one I did with Craig Robinson was right after The Office ended, and the whole Office team wanted to make a show for Craig, and it didn't work. It didn't happen, but it was really fun to make. I don't know, probably one of those shows like Cheers or Friends, but also usually pilots aren't great. It usually takes a season for a show to get its voice.
That's why the Cheers one really stands out to me, because I think that they did a masterful job of introducing the characters without it feeling like hokey.
Yeah. I would say it's probably Cheers.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, last thing.
Yeah.
What do you think the future holds for you?
Well, I mean, if we go far enough into the future, I mean, it definitely holds death.
Yeah. You're a prophet.
As Norm Macdonald said on one of his specials, he's like, my dad died and my grandpa died and his dad before him died. And he's like, I come from a long line of death. And sadly, Norm has just passed away. But I don't know. I mean, I know we have a TV show coming out, a spinoff of Suicide Squad on HBO Max in a couple months with John Cena and myself. And I would love to do a lot more of those. Like, it was really fun. And
why did you love it?
Well, I had already worked with John on Suicide Squad, and James is one of my best friends. And it's the whole thing of working with your friends. I would take that over anything. You know, I see why Adam Sandler always works with the same people. He always puts, you know, his friends in his movies, whether they're good or not, you know, they're having fun making it. And that's like half the battle, you know, is having fun while you're working.
Yeah. So you'll stick with what's working.
Hopefully.
Wait, I actually forgot. I have to ask you the thing we ask everybody. What do you keep in the trunk of your car?
I have a truck. I have a truck, so there's really nothing in the trunk.
Like a pickup?
Yeah, Ford F-150, but it does have a camper shell on it. So
okay.
I think there's probably a giant jug of water in the back.
Wait, for hydrating or what? Emergency?
Yeah, just in case of emergency. Okay. But also, that last job I had with John Cena, we were shooting in Vancouver, and this was at the height of the pandemic. So I drove, and so I slept. I didn't want to stay in a hotel, so I slept in the back of my truck. So that's probably why I think there's also a sleeping bag in the back of my truck.
Oh my God. Nobody's ever said that before.
Yeah.
Jesus. Well, you're extra tall, right? You're a tall man.
Yeah, I'm 6'6".
Yes. Is that part of what informs what kind of car or vehicle you buy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say, I used to own a Mini Cooper, and it was still to this day, of all the cars I've owned, it had the most legroom and headroom.
Come on.
Yeah. I could sit fully reclined with my legs all the way out. No problem. I can't even do that in my truck.
That's insane. It's also insane that you would even attempt to test that. The name itself would make me think, why bother?
Well, it was given to me.
Oh.
I wouldn't have bought it, but it was given to me by Elliot Page.
You're so weird.
On my birthday, Elliot had just bought a new car and so had this Mini sitting in his driveway. And I remember I had a truck at the time and it had just broken down for like the 10 millionth time. And I was complaining about it. And he just took his car keys and he was like, take my Mini. I don't want to have to worry about selling it.
Come on.
Happy birthday. Yeah.
Wow. I'm glad it's like a birthday payback for all of those posts that you do against your will.
Yeah, totally.
Wow. What a story. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just honored I got to talk to you. And I'm so
Likewise.
glad we're getting so much closer to actually meeting.
I know.
This is just
I don't know when I'll be in Pittsburgh. I almost did a TV show in Pittsburgh that is still shooting there right now.
What is it? Is it a secret?
I forget what it's called. It's Garrett Dillahunt is the star of it, who I love. You would know him from a million things. I think Martha Plimpton is in it as well.
Why didn't you get it?
Garrett wanted me for the show. Greg Garcia, who's the producer, who also created Raising Hope and and I think My Name is Earl, like great showrunner, producer. He didn't want me for it. Garrett did. Greg won out. I mean, I've auditioned
Greg
for
doesn't like you?
No, he does like me. I've auditioned for him a lot. He's a good guy, but he was just like, I don't see
the right fit
him as doing this. But I'd be in Pittsburgh right now.
See, no, it's just toying with my emotions. When I come to LA, though, I hope you're there so I can give you a big old hug. But
I hope I'm there too. I'm so tired of being away from home.
Yeah, man, you got to settle down for a hot second.
Yeah,
it's stressing me out.
That's the plan. As soon as I'm done with this show on Friday, and I'll be back home on Saturday.
Thank God. Well, you're off the hook. I adore you.
Thank God. Likewise.
The nightmare is over.